team win. How about that team that fought their ass off out there? How about that team that had each other's back for 60 minutes? And guess what? We needed all those 60 minutes. Okay? I appreciate the fight in this locker room. I see it every day. I get to see it in the building, right? I see it every day. I see it on Wednesday. But the fight out there, guys, will not be denied. How about 27 jumping over people? Whatever it takes. That's what this game's about. Okay, but what I see, we talk about connected teams, that's what I saw today. Was it perfect? No. It doesn't have to be perfect. But man, when you fight like crazy fellas, we got a chance. Next week, we got something's in the way next week. I don't know who it is, but something's in the way. But I appreciate how you guys fight, all right?
Welcome to the Dawgs Podcast with your hosts, Blake Reneker, Justin Charles, John Nye, and Josh All.
What's up, Browns fans? Victory Monday here on the Dawgs Podcast, becoming the norm here on Mondays in the fall. Browns improved to 7-3. How about that freaking team speech out of Kevin Stefanski? I retweeted that last night. I said, I don't want to seem like a simp, but I fucking love our coach. Man. And I think he just continues to prove the doubters wrong. We can talk a little bit about the speech. We got a bunch of voicemails to get to. It's going to be an awesome episode today. Every time the Browns win, it's just another awesome episode. And I'm still I didn't know I could get any higher than after the Ravens game. And then here we are, and I'm still high as a kite off this Steelers win. So I can't wait to get into everything. We appreciate you guys being here. Like I said, we have a bunch of voicemails to get to today. If you want to get your voicemails on future episodes, head to thedawgspodcast.com, tap leave voicemail on the drop-down menu. We love hearing from you guys. We love getting your guys' intros. If you want to just listen to the podcast, you can find us on Apple, Spotify, and Google. You can also find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. If you're watching right now and you haven't yet subscribed on YouTube, please do so. Tap the notification bell. Please press like on the video. The Browns are doing big things, and we want to do big things with them. So any support you guys can give to the show, liking and subscribing helps a ton. Lastly, if you're looking for more Dawgs content, head to jointhedawgs.com, become an official Dog Pack member on the Patreon page. You get access to the private Discord, which is definitely the highlight of the Patreon. If you think winning on a game against the Ravens or the Steelers on a walk-off field goal is exciting at home and your wife is telling you to keep it down because the kid is napping, wait until you watch it and you got a Discord full of people from all over the world who are just as hyped as you are. It makes game days 10 times better. It makes the week 10 times better. It's people to talk shit with when the Browns are winning. It's people to drown in misery with if we're losing. It's just one of the best things that's ever come out of this show is the Dog Pack. So if you're interested in that, you want to play fantasy football with us, you want to get an extra episode every week, jointhedawgs.com, become an official Dog Pack member.
I was going to say real quick, me and John did the live in the Discord before this show. Everybody jumps in, talks with us, we interact, and we actually have we always have good discussions, but I felt like today's discussions were really good coming out of yesterday's game because we had DTR playing, we had Joe Flacco get signed, a whole bunch of things happened, and we'll talk about all that here tonight too.
Good talk, and I really appreciate how they let me know my mic wasn't working at the very end of the show.
So I think, do you want to start off with this couple of voicemails real quick?
Yep, we got a couple good ones just to get things started.
Fatal Gnome, thank you, buddy. This one is for you. I was able to get this one ready in time.
What you gonna do when the Browns come for you? Well, it doesn't matter what you think. It's a victory Monday over the Squealers, and the Browns are 7-3. And if you smell what Stefanski and AB is cooking, it'll be 14-3, and in the playoffs will be. And that's the bottom line.
That was awesome. That's the first time I've heard it. And that's how you start the show, guys, on a Victory Monday. Thank you, Fatal Gnome. He was screaming 15-2. We lost a heartbreaker at Seattle. He immediately said, doesn't matter, we're going 14-3. And he hasn't come off it since. Awesome voicemail. That's what we're looking for here on a Victory Monday. We want to keep the energy up. That's how we get this thing started.
Well, then we'll just follow it real quick with our boy Kenny Mack.
Yo, guys, it is Kenny Mack, and I kicked off my day with my Nick Chubb jersey, and all I really wanted was the Browns to minimize penalties and not turn the ball over, and sure as heck, we did it. We beat the Steelers. We beat them 13-10. All we need is one more point than the other team. It does not matter who's at quarterback. This team's going to make the playoffs. We have the defense that's going to do it. They only got one big run on us. And you know what? It's the NFL team, and that happens, and that kid is good. We held Pickett to under 95 yards, or about 95 yards passing. We did exactly what we wanted to do. Don't want it as close every week, or I'm going to have to get a defibrillator for my Browns backers crew. Special teams reversed it from last week. I mean, that Dustin Hopkins trade, that 7th-round draft pick for him, that seems unreal at this point. Last but not least, DTR, he did what he could. Another week's practice. Take some heat off that fastball, bud. Your arm's awesome. And let's get those Broncos next week. Go Brownies.
All right.
Man, what a team win. Like you heard Kevin say it in the opening video there in the post-game locker room speech, like, guys, this is the NFL. It's rarely perfect. It doesn't have to be perfect. This isn't the BCS where you're playing for style points. We're not trying to impress some fake-ass committee, okay? This is the NFL. It's just win. I think Nathan Zagura said it in the post-game on the radio. It's a binary league. It's a wins and losses league. There's no asterisks in the win-loss columns. There's no pictures. They don't put pictures up of what the score was. It just says W or it says L. And right now we got 7 W's.
That's right.
And it feels freaking awesome. And it's just, name me another team, another coach, another city that would be 7-3 dealing with what we have dealt with this year. It's legitimately, it's almost unheard of.
Well, we were talking about that in the Discord, and we were having the conversation of, is Kevin Stefanski in the running for Coach of the Year? And they were talking about Dan Campbell in Detroit and D'Amico Ryans in Houston. And I think, didn't you say, John, well, take PJ Walker and put him in Detroit, and I guarantee they don't have 7 wins.
Exactly. It's one of those deals. Don't get me wrong. I think Dan Campbell's a great coach. I'd have given him Coach of the Year last year. Everybody expected the Lions to be great this year.
Right.
You know what I mean? They were picked to win the division. We were picked to finish last.
6-11
in our division.
Right.
Yes. Some people picked us to win.
And that was with Deshaun Watson all year.
And a healthy Nick Chubb and a healthy Jack Conklin and a DeJuan Jones that didn't only have to come in on pass plays. You know what I mean? Yeah. Not playing a practice squad quarterback or a 5th-round rookie quarterback. DTR has started 2 games in the NFL against the Ravens and the Steelers.
Yes.
And he's 500.
It's awesome, man.
You know what I mean? And I think Coach of the Year is, unless something just insane happens down in Houston, D'Amico Ryans going to be Coach of the Year. The only person who thought they were going to win games was Pastor Rob. But Kevin Stefanski, 1,000,000% should be in that discussion, and he's given him a run for his money because nobody, we've talked about this before in this show, Kyle Shanahan was 30 games under 500 when he didn't have Jimmy G before Brock Purdy came along. Okay? Bill Belichick, arguably the greatest coach of all time, has a losing record since Tom Brady left.
Yeah.
And he's still playing with a 1st-round draft pick quarterback. Now, we might all think Mac Jones sucks, but he was a 1st-round draft pick.
Yep.
Okay? There isn't a team in the league that would be doing what we are doing, dealing with what we've dealt with in the injury department on offense. The Ravens have dealt with injuries the last couple of years, but the one year that Lamar missed extended time, they finished 4th in the division.
That's true. That is very true.
They finished 4th. Now, other guys have gotten hurt around Lamar, and he's been able to carry them to solid seasons because you still had Lamar. You still had the most important player on the field. Mm-hmm. We're missing Deshaun and Nick Chubb. And you'd make the argument Nick Chubb's the most important person on our offense. And at least, especially early in the year, Deshaun's still trying to come back, get acclimated. Like, nobody else would, you'll never convince me that anybody else would be 7-3 right now.
Nope. Yeah. Not at all. Rick Adkins, thank you for the super chat. He says 1 flag the entire game. That was impressive. Only 1 penalty.
Yeah.
The whole game. By the way, the score was 15-10. That was a safety.
It was a safety.
Yes, it was.
So, but I think not only was the first one a safety, the second one was maybe even more egregious.
Yeah.
But it did set us up in great field position.
It did, but we could have also had potentially great field position with 2 points.
Correct. So it's tomato. I obviously would have liked to have the safety because the free kick punt it's probably not going out of the end zone. We probably still get pretty decent field position.
That's the thing. Like, you never know what the return's going to be.
Yes. Man, special teams were big yesterday. On that game-winning drive, just the little 12-yard return that we got was huge. I went back and watched the final minute and a half today just because. And one thing there's so much to talk about with this game, but talk about like what a microcosm of this team on that final drive. Who made 2 huge plays? Elijah Moore and David Njoku. Two guys that had dropsies. Yeah, like Elijah Moore had a big drop early. Njoku struggled all day catching the ball.
Oh man!
And like Kenny said, some of that has to do with the fact that DTR it's just fastball.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's an adjustment. And I don't want to give the guy excuses, but I mean, it's definitely an adjustment to go from catching a very catchable Deshaun ball to this guy just rifling it in there.
Deshaun's got the touch, the placement, the positioning. DTR's just got, here it is.
Yep. And also in David's defense, on that back shoulder throw in the end zone, first of all, it's a great throw by DTR. 100% pass interference. I went back and watched another breakdown of it. The DB literally clubs him in the face before the ball gets there, right over his eyes. 100% pass, right in front of him. And then the very next play, the guys just hang on to Amari Cooper out of bounds. They don't call it again. That puts the ball at the 1. Mm-hmm. Kareem Hunt's getting in.
Yes.
You'll never convince me Kareem Hunt's not getting in.
Oh, yeah, he's getting in.
He gets 1 yard. I mean, that's what he does. He gets 1 yard. So that sucked. And we people look at me like, well, the Browns only had 1 penalty. Correct, but they missed the safety. They definitely missed a couple of those calls.
Yes.
We just played cleaner. We were the better coached football team. And the disrespect for Stefanski just got to stop. It's crazy.
It's not going to stop.
No, it's not. It's gonna.
But I agree with you. It kind of we were talking about it earlier too. Like, a lot of Browns fans are going to be scratching their head if Stefanski wins Coach of the Year because they just can't see, the reality of how good he is. If you look at, no one's done more with less. No one.
No. And, I guess we could kind of like start talking about the play calling, which I know a lot of people have been complaining about and everything. So, I mean, I'll go back and just say I was very critical of Kevin Stefanski the first time DTR played against the Ravens. I said he needed to be more conservative with DTR because DTR is not Deshaun. He can't run the playbook like he's got Deshaun out there. So what did Kevin do yesterday? He ran it like DTR was out there. He mitigated all risk, which is exactly what we expected. It's exactly what we wanted him to do. And now fans hate him for that.
Yeah.
And it's like, I understand the offense was putrid. It was boring, but the Steelers are a great defense. We're playing a professional football team on the other side of the ball, and they're doing everything they can to stop us too.
Yeah, and I heard a lot of people complain about multiple people saying, oh, we should have been throwing downfield. Why?
Yeah.
Were you at practice? were you coaching DTR? Did you see what DTR is capable of? Because I guarantee Kevin watched DTR throw deep 100 times in practice.
And was like...
And he had a very good reason. Against the Steelers...
And it's not only his ability to throw deep. I'm sure he can throw. It's our ability to protect. In this game was all about mitigating the disaster. What has been essentially the only reason the Browns have lost a game this year?
Self-imposed disasters.
Yes. And so Kevin coached to make sure that didn't happen. I said it against the Ravens, and I said it in the preview game for the Steelers. We were going to have to play ugly, keep it close, rely on the defense, and make sure you have a chance to win the game in the fourth quarter. I told somebody this earlier today. I said, you can't win a game in the second and third quarter. You can sure as hell lose a game in the second and third quarter. So he made sure that didn't happen. He said, we're not going to let this kid lose this game for us in quarters 2 and 3. Okay, we're going to keep this a game. We're going to rely on the strength of this team, which everybody screams is the defense. Nobody wants to give Kevin any credit for wins because it's the defense. And then so when he plays to the team's strengths, keeps it a game, doesn't let DTR do too much, leans on what we do well, and gets a win, a huge win. It's the first time in franchise history that we beat the Ravens and the Steelers in consecutive weeks.
That's wild.
Okay. And people want to complain about the play calling. I listened to this exact same fan base screaming about how he set up DTR to fail the first time he started.
Right. Yep.
I listened to this same fan base scream after we threw one pass on third down in Seattle.
Yep.
And then he does what we need him to do to win a game. And you're going to complain about the play call? Oh my God. Like, there's literally no winning.
No, Kevin can't win at all. So I think those of us who understand what's going on and get it, like, we'll just continue to ride with this and be very happy with how things are going. Two stats that really show what Kevin was doing with DTR yesterday. In his first game, we looked it up earlier. DTR's time to throw was 3.23 seconds. It's like the highest, longest held ball in the league.
You mean Deshaun?
No, DTR against the Ravens.
Oh, yeah.
3.23 time to throw. The worst in the league. Yesterday was 2.15. He cut over a whole second off of his time to throw. Only 4 passes went past 10 yards yesterday. And that's it.
And don't get me wrong. In the second half, I'm watching, and I'm human too. I'm like, ugh, this is definitely rough.
Yeah, it was hard to watch.
But I have the big picture in mind. Mm-hmm. I understand that the goal isn't to just come out here and throw bombs and look flashy. The goal is to win the freaking game.
Right.
Okay? And by whatever means necessary.
And like you said, I was frustrated to watch the game. Like, I can't believe we can't just pick up a first down. Like, can we just give our defense a break? We just need a first down, like extend it, kill the clock a little bit, just run a freaking drive. And we couldn't do it in the second half. But it's not because Kevin was coaching a bad game. It's because he's coaching against another great coach, a great defense. I mean, this was 2 really good teams going at it yesterday. You give the Steelers their due. They're a great football team. They're a great coach team. They have a great defense. We always struggle to beat them. So it's not like we went out there and beat some pissant team. No,
what did I said on the preview? The Steelers were 6-3 coming into this game. Because they don't beat themselves.
Exactly. They let you beat yourself.
They let you beat yourself, and then they capitalize on it.
Yes.
And that's how they can be outgained in every single game and be 6-3.
Yep.
They just don't beat themselves. So we said we're not going to put ourselves in that position. We're not going to beat ourselves. We're going to keep it close. We're going to muddy it up. We're going to play your style of football because we can, because we have the best defensive player in football. Yep. Okay. And then we're going to win it late. I don't understand people complaining. If Stefanski would have come out and been chucking the ball all over the yard and DTR threw 3 picks or got strip sacked and they returned it for a touchdown and TJ Watt was celebrating our end zone, it would have been fire Stefanski all over the internet.
Yes. And the quick short passes, they get the ball out quick, they run a simple offense. What does that lead to? That leads to the no penalties, essentially. 1 penalty on the whole day because guys don't have time to hold. The pass rush isn't doing, and we basically did what our defense makes other offenses do. Get the ball and throw it quick.
Yeah. Like, and people are like, well, then if you can't block, you go to, your max protect. So we're going to run 2-man routes. Who's our deep threat?
Right.
You know what I mean? Who are you going to double TJ Watt with? A running back? Strong? Going to block? You know what I mean?
On.
Like,
yeah.
Like, come on, guys. Just watch the games. Understand this is the NFL. It is chess, not checkers. Like, it is moving pieces. It is a war of attrition, and it is just about winning. And that's what we're doing. Like, I don't understand. People who complain, they're just, I'll tell you, they're not Browns fans. They're Baker cucks.
I know. I saw you said that.
That's exactly what they are.
So true. Here, I'll just do this then real quick. Before we move on, Browns fans here in Ohio, if you guys want to get into Caesar Sportsbook, they're running a new sign-up offer. You guys don't want to miss it. New customers can get their first bet on Caesars up to $1,000 by using our code DAWGS1000, all one word, during sign-up. Not only will your first bet be covered, you guys are also going to be directly supporting our show. So if you haven't joined Caesars yet, now's the perfect time to make your move. Just remember, use our code DAWGS1000 when you sign up and place your first bet. Offer is only available for new customers who are 21 and older and physically present in Ohio. Please gamble responsibly. If you guys or a loved one has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Check the episode description for the full terms of the offer to see if you qualify.
Okay. So why don't we address the poll question here while we're kind of talking about the offense. And so DTR, he did I thought DTR looked great in the first half. Especially, had never been more pumped about a first drive of the game that didn't end in points than I was in that in this game.
And we all said in the chat yesterday, good drive.
Yep.
Good
Just
drive.
it didn't end in a turnover, had some easy completions for him, let him kind of get the feel for the game, flipped field position a little bit. And it was a great first drive. So DTR's numbers obviously didn't look great. 4-4 on the final drive, though, to take us down the field to get the big win. I guess I just went. And then we signed Flacco, 8 minutes after the game.
Right. Which I was talking about that yesterday. The rumor was he left Friday without a contract, but was probably going to get most likely coming back today on Monday to get signed. So we kind of knew that was happening.
Yeah. So they already announced he's going to start in Denver. DTR.
Yeah.
How do you feel going forward? Do you think they signed Flacco to be the backup to DTR? Do you think, 2 weeks from now he's up to speed, he's going to be the starter? What do you guys think?
Man, I think DTR is our starter. I read someone say online, basically, he's earned he's a starter until he's not. Like if he plays himself out of a starting job, which that's just too optimistic for that right now. Not calling that.
Yeah.
But I will say this: if it came to that, I think Flacco's got the skills to manage a game. We've got such a good defense, and we've got pieces on offense too. I mean, if you're a game manager, we can win with that.
Yeah, we can totally do that. We talked about this in Discord earlier. My take on the whole Joe Flacco DTR thing is 1 week at a time. Roll with DTR because we were talking about this yesterday during the game. He's a rookie. So what you saw yesterday, he's got so much development potential because he's so young. It's not like he's a 35-year-old quarterback and you know what you got. He is young. He is fresh. He can continue to grow. You might see big strides out of him where you're not going to see it out of a guy who's been in the league 7 or 8 years.
Yeah, it's not like we just saw DTR play his best game.
Right. But if he doesn't, say he doesn't take any strides, say he comes out and he's not very good, he starts throwing picks and turning the ball over and he's just like, this kid's just not getting it. Then you move to Flacco. The thing is, you set yourself up for a win-win. Like, Flacco's here to mentor. If he needs to come in and play, he can. And we were talking about, I think that he's good to have in the building for Deshaun too. I think that Deshaun being around another seasoned veteran who has had success in the league, won a Super Bowl, he is a champion. Like, it's just good for everybody. I see no downside in it whatsoever.
Yeah, correct.
He's a grown up in the locker room. We saw he's still got an arm. He can still throw it a little bit. Pastor Robin here saying that we have way different takes on DTR and that DTR is not a starter in this league. I just don't think you have anything to base that on. You've watched him in 2 games. The one game he got 10 minutes heads up start that he's going to play against the best defense in football. And
with a game plan that was not tailored.
Yeah, with a game plan not for him. In this game, he did exactly what we needed to do to win a football game. And when the game was on the line, he was 4-4, took us right down the field for the game-winning points. I'm not saying he's going to go on to be a perennial Pro Bowler. I'm not even going to say he is a long-term starter in this league. I said the sample size is not nearly big enough to just make that assessment after 2 games against 2 of the best defenses in football. Yeah. And I think the team likes him. I think they like the way he gutted it out. I think they like the way he prepares. I mean, you could tell like what it meant to him. And I think he showed a lot of fight in practice throughout the week. He's willing to put his body on the line for this team. Like, the guy is totally bought into the locker room and the guys. And I think he has the respect of the locker room. And I think you can't understate that. So I think until he proves that he's just simply not capable of being good enough for what we need him to do, he's going to be the starter.
Yeah. And the thing is, we don't need him to be a long-term starting NFL caliber quarterback because as soon as next season rolls around, Deshaun's the quarterback. We said this earlier. It doesn't matter if DTR goes out and balls out the rest of the season, the Browns go to the playoffs and all this stuff. Deshaun's still our starting quarterback.
Yes.
Follow the money. That's where the money is. He's playing quarterback for the Browns. We need DTR to be good enough to not lose us games. And I think he can be, but like I said, if he ends up proving that he's not, then we just make a switch. It's not that big of a deal. You look around the NFL, how many teams are playing with backup quarterbacks right now?
A few.
A lot of teams are rolling with backup quarterbacks or young guys that they're still not sure about that they drafted or whatever to be their starter. So I don't think we're in that bad of a position, honestly, especially with our defense.
Well, you would agree DTR made improvements from game 1 to game 2, right?
Yes. He made improvements. Coach, the game plan, everything worked much better with him yesterday.
And I don't think you can look at his second game and just think it's like he's arrived and that's the pinnacle for him.
Yeah, this is all he's ever going to be able to do.
I would predict, and we've got teams that we're going to face that don't have this TJ Watt.
Correct. Again, Pastor Rob saying, including preseason, he's not great in the pass game. He was literally the best quarterback in the league in the preseason. Now, I don't think the preseason means much, but I just don't think you have enough to go off of there. That makes no sense to me. You got to Quincy. So I think Quincy said it the best on Twitter X after the game. Remember to be patient with DTR. The goal for him today was to not be a disaster and to win the game. He and Kevin can now build off this, just like how things started a little slow with Jacoby last year. Give him more reps and time with the receivers to adjust. We'll be okay. I completely agree.
Yeah.
Again, I'm not saying his ceiling is Deshaun or even, starter. I think his ceiling, at least he showed me enough that his ceiling is game manager.
Don't screw it up.
Don't screw it up. Okay. His only turnover yesterday was a ball that went off Amari's hands.
Yeah. And I was optimistic during the game and super happy with the result. But I mean, the more time I've had to process it, I just like Kevin's game plan more and more.
And actually, there's a couple super chats in here I want to mention, and it goes right into that. Rick Atkins made a nice point. He said, Kevin also set up the backup tackles to not get owned. So the short passing game, the quick passes, I mean, you've got, first of all, Jerron Christian might be our new starting left tackle moving forward, even when Jed Wills gets zero pressures yesterday allowed. Now, we were getting the ball out quick, so there wasn't a whole lot of opportunity to pressure the quarterback, but still, James Hudson, I believe, gave up 5 pressures yesterday. So Christian is looking good. We get DeJuan Jones back, I think we'll be good. And Peter R says our O-line is a big reason why we're winning too. They're definitely, this patchwork line is coming together.
The interior started the season. I think they started the season a little rough.
Yeah.
They've come a long way. The stat I had here, Kevin Stefanski is the Browns 7-3 for the second time in 4 years. Stefanski improves to 33-27 as a head coach, including 21-10 mark at home and 12-11 within the AFC North. What more do you,
12-11 in the AFC North is
and he's done it with absolute zero consistency at the quarterback position.
Yeah, that's so true.
I told somebody most coaches who would have dealt with what Kevin has dealt with for the last 4 years, they wouldn't have made it to 4 years.
No,
they would have been so far under 500. It would have looked so dysfunctional. They would have been gone.
Look what you always say, like Robert Saleh in New York. I mean, they can't get it together, and they've got a great defense and quarterback situation. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I feel like we just cannot hype Kevin enough for what he's doing this year.
There's way too much optimism around DTR. People are way too orange tint. No, man, no. Nobody is saying he's Deshaun Watson. You got to stop. We're saying he's good enough to not turn the ball over.
Exactly.
That's all anybody is saying.
He did enough yesterday to show that there's potential for him to grow. And, if he can just add that second level of passing element to his game, that it doesn't even need to be deep. I don't need like 20, 30 yard passes down the field with DTR. Just anything in that intermediate range where he can get a little more consistent. That just helps us pick up a couple more first downs. Yesterday, honestly, like 3 more first downs during the second half would have sealed that thing a lot sooner.
And who knows what happens if we have no drops yesterday?
Yeah.
And that same thing.
They choked with like 5.
Yeah. It was bad.
Elijah Moore had a big one. Like there were a ton of
Ford dropped too.
Yeah. So like, come on. I'm not saying nobody's saying that he's Deshaun Watson but man, I feel like you're very down on a kid who just beat the Steelers.
No, and there was a lot of people yesterday I saw on Twitter too saying like, oh, and I don't know where this is coming from. Probably Baker bros that are hiding as DTR bros, but they're saying DTR equals Deshaun Watson. Like, if you watch that game yesterday and you can't walk away very much appreciative of what Deshaun Watson brings to the game, to the offense, then I can't help you because the Steelers cannot stack the box to stop the run. They cannot take away all the short passes if Deshaun Watson's the quarterback.
Correct. If anything, just game plan. It's like some of what DTR went through yesterday with how he looked, some of it, Kevin had him on a very, very short leash. Yes. He was essentially on a choke collar. Okay. Like it didn't open up until it needed to open up. He went 4-4. Took us right down the field in a minute 18. So I think I just saw this stat, by the way, and this might be the most impressive thing about the Browns this season and why I think national people need to wake the F up on the Browns and why I think we as Browns fans can be confident. Of the 10 opponents the Browns have faced this season, only 2 of them are currently below 500.
That's impressive.
We were supposed to have a 4th place schedule.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes. We are 7-3, and we have played 8 teams that are 500 or better. We have beat the Bengals, the 49ers, the Ravens, and now the Steelers. For anybody who watches CalTurd, those 4 teams are staples in the herd hierarchy.
Yeah.
Those are 4 of the top 10 teams in the league.
Yeah.
Man, that guy's silly.
And we almost beat the Seahawks, who are also at the top of the NFC.
We almost beat them.
I know.
Yeah.
But I'm saying it's not like we're getting beat by, like, we're playing tough football this year.
Yes. Like our only bad loss was DTR's first start.
And we all know why.
And we lost to the Steelers the first time when Chubb gets his knee blown out.
And that was, again, self-inflicted, self-imposed mistakes. The pick 6, the fumble 6. We don't have, even if one of those 2 plays doesn't happen, we win the game.
Yeah. It's hard to believe.
So, yeah, we're not getting owned by anybody this year. I mean, and yeah, like you said, that Ravens game, man, whatever.
We got redemption.
Yeah.
You know, in Baltimore.
Yep. Yeah, in Baltimore, which is awesome.
Yeah, man. I just don't know how you can't be excited. I don't feel bad because I just don't.
Actually, yeah, let's see. We got 3 more voicemails. This one's from Aaron.
Listen, y'all. Big dub today. They say we could have beat the Steelers, man. All these Steeler fans running their mouth. No Deshaun Watson. Well, guess what? We don't need a Deshaun Watson to beat your mid quarterback, Kenny Pickett. He can't even throw for 100 yards against us, bro. Listen, Myles Garrett versus TJ. No more. I don't want to hear he doesn't show up against this game anymore, bro. Myles was all over the field. Where was TJ? TJ nowhere to be found. Kevin Stefanski, coach of the year. 3 different quarterbacks. 2 of them bottom of the league. 1 of them hurt, in and out. We still in this thing, man. Let's go. Steelers fans, how you feeling about Kenny Pickett? Because, I mean, this guy might be worse than our 2 backup quarterbacks. You know, we got some things to clean up on offense, but DTR going up against a defense like this, Kevin Stefanski calling the plays how he was in the second half. Listen, we got the dub. Be happy about it. We're on to next week. Let's go, Dogs.
Man, I'll say this. TJ Watt was all over the field too, but he was doing his impression of a pancake. So
crazy stat. Yeah. So I thought the game plan with DeJuan Jones to come in and just kind of play like key pass sets and that kind of stuff, like that's kind of genius. You know what I mean? Like put him on a snap count, but you used him in big moments and stuff like that. 19 pass blocking matchups on TJ Watt, 0 sacks allowed, 0 pressures allowed. That's the second time he's gone up and pretty much eliminated him out of the game. And let's address the TJ Miles thing. No lie, if you've watched this show for a couple years, in the past, we have said we wish Miles had a little bit of that TJ motor. It seems like TJ never gives up on a play. You always feel his presence in the game. And we know it was frustrating because we felt like Miles clearly had the ability. It seemed like he took some plays off and, 100% honesty. We've said that on the show. You can go find that. Also coming into this season, though, we said it might sound funny. This is going to be a Myles Garrett breakout season. You say, well, how could a guy who's constantly in the defensive player of the year discussion have a breakout? This is a breakout season.
Yep,
this is a coming out party for Myles Garrett. I think I touched on this last week. He can go all out every play that he is on the field now because he knows if I have to come out for a play or 2 to catch my wind, the next guy in isn't a practice squad player, and we're not going to give up 80 yards in 2 minutes if I take 2 plays off. This dude, I can finally just go all out. They can't double and triple team me because I got Richardson next to me, Zadarius Smith on the other side.
Shelby Harris. Oh, man.
Yes, Jordan Elliott. I got guys around me now. I can just play with my hair on fire, and you're seeing a match made in heaven between Jim Schwartz and Myles Garrett.
Absolutely.
You're just seeing it. I mean, it's what we envisioned. And you're seeing if Myles plays like his hair's on fire and he can give 100% effort every snap without having to worry about if he's going to take a rest or anything like that. Just knowing I can go out and play free. And I know that the guys around me are going to have my back and I can just go all out. There isn't a better defensive player in the league.
No.
And to be honest, it's not even really close. Not even close.
No, and that's like you said, that's what we've been waiting for is, to watch a broadcast. Because we always watch the other teams with these great defensive players, and they're getting mentioned all the time. They're always getting highlighted, and they're making plays. And it's like, man, I see that guy on every play. He's doing something. That's what Miles is doing this year.
Yeah, it's fun to watch. He's getting those chase down tackles. He's running guys down. I mean, he legit helped save the game against the Ravens last week, chasing Lamar down from the opposite side of the field, forcing him out of bounds late. Like he's essentially, unless something bad happens, he's got Defensive Player of the Year in the bag. And honestly, like some people you've heard whisperings, he should be in the MVP discussion. If the Browns make the playoffs and they win a playoff game, he should 100% be in that discussion because we're winning off the back of the defense, and he's the best player on the defense.
He's the absolute leader.
Jalen Hurts was in MVP discussions last year because he was the quarterback on the team with the best record, essentially. And you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he's the quarterback of our defense. He's the best player on our defense, and our defense is going to carry us to hopefully the playoffs and potentially beyond. I don't want to look ahead. Somebody asked me, did you play the schedule game yet? Have you looked ahead? Of course. And what I came up with is the Browns are good enough to win out, or the offense could be bad enough that we lose out. And it's just like, I don't think we're going to.
And there's going to be wins and losses the whole way.
Yes.
That's what's going to happen. Yeah.
It could go, who knows what it's going to be like. Aaron, hey, Blake, looked like Todd and Lamar works very well. They're efficient. They're far from explosive, and we literally just fucking beat you.
Hey, this is a Browns podcast, Aaron.
And we're talking about the Steelers win. So,
and if you go, let's go back and look at the Ravens schedule. You've played a ton of backup and rookie quarterbacks this year to have your inflated defense. We just dropped 30 plus on you when we finally had our starter. I'm not worried about you.
No.
Nope. So you can have your 78% completion percentage for 112 yards a game if you want.
And maybe a touchdown if you're lucky. Yeah.
If you look ahead to the Browns schedule a little bit though, I honest to God think if the Browns can come out, if they just take care of the ball and continue to play defense like this, minimum 4 to 5 wins.
It's been the story all year.
Yes.
It's been the story all year.
Minimum 4 to 5. I think the Bears, Jets, and Bengals, if you want to be a playoff team, you got to put W's next to those. The Jets, oh my God.
Oh, man.
I was talking about this earlier.
We should absolutely, our defense should just feast on that.
They just benched Zach Wilson for Tim Boyle.
They lost their only remaining good lineman, I think.
They are historically the worst third down offense in the history of football right now. And we are historically the best third down defense in the history of football right now.
I think I heard they just scored the first touchdown in 40 offensive drives.
That could be that we legit. I think it was the Bears a couple years ago. We held them to negative yards of offense or something like that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That could be that Jets game could be that.
Yes, it could be.
And there's been some talks about Aaron Rodgers. I just heard it today. Aaron Rodgers talking about coming back Christmas Eve, and it would be limited mobility. He'd have to be more of just a stand in the pocket. Bro, do you have a death wish? You want to come back and play behind that offensive line?
He's not coming back for the Browns game. 100% guaranteed.
That's a death wish.
Not happening.
No way.
Remember when Kyler Murray could have come back? Yeah, he waited a week.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. It's just like, man, go ahead and stand. Don't be a statue against the Browns. Oh, good luck.
We've taken him right back out.
I know.
Yes, he would be dead.
Retirement, man.
I think the toughest games remaining, at least to me on paper right now, are Jags and Texans.
I think the Broncos actually do pose a difficult matchup.
4-game win streak, and they got that home field advantage.
I think because we don't have our quarterback and our running back and our line is beat up, every game's a tough game.
Yes.
But like the ones where I'm looking at and I'm like, I could really see this going either way is the Texans and the Jags. And honestly, more so the Texans.
Really? Because I feel like I know CJ's balling, but he's still a rookie. And I don't care.
He's not a rookie. He's not playing like a rookie.
I know, but I still think Jim Schwartz, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. It's not going to be easy.
I'm not, honest to God, the most worrisome game for me is the Texans. The Jags have not looked that great on offense. Trevor Lawrence doesn't look that great. Like, I don't know if they score on us.
No, I'm not super worried about them. I mean, obviously they're in the playoff mix right now. So are the Texans. I think the Broncos are in the playoff, hunt. What teams do we have left that really aren't? You know what I mean?
So
the Bears, like you said, the Jets, but
Bengals should. I mean, I don't see them doing anything with Joe Burrow without Joe Burrow.
Their fan base already checked out. Did you notice that?
Yeah. Notice this team plays with backup quarterbacks, backup linemen, backup running backs. We're 7-3, getting ready to make our playoff push. You lose Joe Burrow and season's done. We're not the same.
Nope.
You'll always be second tier in this state.
Might be why Stefanski 6-1 against them.
Yeah, it's a culture. We're not like you Kentuckians. So no, there's going to be tougher games down the stretch. Jags much tougher than Texans. Well, the Texans waxed that ass earlier this year, so I don't know about that. I am more worried about the quarterback who is playing very well. They got a running game going, and they seem to have a lot of momentum. Than I am again. I mean, the Jags just got waxed by San Francisco. That's not overreact because they steamrolled the garbage team they played this week in the Titans.
Right. Yeah. You want to do a voicemail from Tyler real quick?
Yeah.
Tyler.
Hey, Browns podcast. This is Tyler. How about them Browns? Screw the Steelers. We won. That's because we're better. Flat out. They can go back to Pittsburgh and stink some more with Mr. Smallheads. Give me a
I want to talk about this obviously the Steelers team. How dumb are the Steelers for not giving the ball to Jaylen Warren? If they give him the ball, if he gets 20 touches between runs and catches, the Browns lose that game.
I think so.
We couldn't tackle the guy. We could not. If he got every time he touched the ball, I was holding my breath like, this dude's going to break it. And then even the plays where we did tackle him, it was for 5 or 6 yard gain. It was like he was one ankle tackle away from being gone again. Like, I don't know why they quit giving him the ball.
It was never the first guy that got him down.
No, after his long run, I think he only got the ball 3 more times or something.
Guys,
I do not know what if they give that guy the ball, we're having a different conversation, I think.
This is the second week in a row we've said something like this too, because with the Ravens, it was Mitchell.
Yeah.
Which... I mean, that's actually a little bit worrisome.
Yeah, a little bit.
I mean, I totally agree, though. I'm not saying that we definitely would have lost, but we kind of looked like we just didn't have a great answer for him.
Ara said they named him the starter and he got less carries than Najee Harris. Every time Najee was in the game, I was like, this is awesome. This is a 3 and out.
Yep.
He just does not have the juice that Warren has. I don't know what they were thinking. After that long run, I said, if I was the Steelers, I wouldn't even attempt another pass unless it was to him. I would just turn around and hand that guy the ball 15 more times this game, and you guys are going to win this game because we just didn't have an answer for it. The dude's good. I'm dreading the day they realize he should just get the ball 20 plus times.
Yeah, I know. Because
the Steelers got weapons. Pickens is an athletic freak. Deontay Johnson is good. Pat Freiermuth is good. This Jaylen Warren kid is good. Their quarterback is awful, and their offensive coordinator is awful.
Yep.
So let's just hope they don't figure it out.
We already kind of talked about this, I guess, but we do have a comment that says Flacco threw 4 touchdowns on us last year. He'll be starting by week 13.
Who didn't throw touchdowns against Joe Woods' defense?
Yeah, it was.
Well,
bad.
I'll tell you, it was the people that ran for like 5 touchdowns.
That's true. Yeah, Marcus Mariota, because they didn't have to.
Yeah. So could you imagine if like Stefanski did something like that? Like Chubb busted a 70-yard run for a touchdown and then he only got the ball 2 more times and they lost.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you were playing against Michigan State and you only gave Zeke the ball 4 times.
In the second half. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it was like when Hugh had Carlos Hyde and Nick Chubb. And it was like, Nick Chubb is clearly the better running back. I want Hyde in there.
Yeah.
Okay.
We had to literally trade.
Yeah, we had to trade.
It was like Moneyball when he just started trading all his players so the guys he wanted in the game would have to play.
GM's like, well, you can't play him anymore because he's gone.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So that was terrible. I thought Stefanski outcoached the Steelers. I thought we outcoached them all day. Just awesome win for the Browns to be 7-3. Some other things on here, if we can touch on the Broncos game real quick. Do we have any more voicemails, or we get to
one more voicemail?
Let's get to this last one real quick.
All right, we got one left, and it's from Brad.
What's up, Browns fans? We beat the Squealers.
you know what? And screw Minsa Fitzpatrick. Yeah, boy, we did it. I'm not going to lie. I was definitely really nervous. But you know what? Did we get a win over the Steelers? What? Are we 7-3? What? Are we in second place in the AFC North? What? Did we just lose like all of our good starters on offense? What? Let's go. This defense is legit. This team is legit. And Kevin Stefanski, we got a coach, guys. Let's go.
Yeah, I think before we move on to the Broncos, I just want to mention for the show, like news came out today, Rodney McLeod is now out for the season. So we lost another Browns player for the season. He tore his bicep, or he has a bicep injury, requires injury. He was playing great for us.
He was laying the wood yesterday.
Yes, he was. And I'm kind of not surprised he got hurt because the way he flies around out there. But that's what we need on defense. And, he was doing his part. I thought that was a great signing by AB in the offseason. Great depth piece behind Delpit and Thornhill, who have both kind of dealt with injuries too this year. And just sucks losing him.
Carrie Smeal says, love the voicemail. Leave us one sometime. We'd love to play it. I'm hoping, we're pointing at this jersey back here.
Yeah.
We're hoping, obviously we don't want McLeod to go down. Hate seeing guys get injured, but this could open the door for a guy, D'Anthony Bell, to be getting some more reps on defense. It's going to be between him and Hickman, or maybe a timeshare. We'll see how that goes, but very excited. I hope he gets this opportunity because I think he'll run with it. So I'm excited for that.
I will say, we talked about this earlier. Hickman got the run yesterday after McLeod went out. I think D'Anthony Bell had 3 snaps on defense yesterday, and Hickman had 13, 14, something like that. But
that's a tough break. Hopefully, I don't know if Thornhill's back or not. We need him back.
I do think he's back pretty soon.
We've been and I think the loss of Anthony Walker hurts.
Yeah.
You notice when he's not on the field. He's a great communicator. He's a great tackler there in the middle. So hopefully, I haven't heard anything on him, if he's a long-term injury or if it was just a tweak. If it was a hamstring injury and it was bad enough he couldn't come in this week, I would assume he's going to be out at least this week. But I don't know. But we've had some people mention the Broncos in here.
Yeah.
I think it's definitely a tougher game than we thought it was going to be when they got 70 dropped on them by the Dolphins. But if you go look at all their defensive ranks since that game, they're playing much better. They're like middle of the pack defensively and stuff like that. They've been forcing some turnovers. But to me, this is still a game. Like, if the Browns want to be a playoff team, this is a game they have to go win. Russell's playing efficient this year. He's moving better. He's not turning the ball over, passer rating over 100. I think he's got 18 or 19 touchdowns to only a few interceptions. Like, he's on his way to having a really solid year. But I've unfortunately had the displeasure of watching a lot of their games because they're on primetime so much. And there's just nothing about their offense that really scares me. They look not fast. There's no separation. I don't see much separation on the outside. Javonte Williams is a good, solid, hard runner, but I don't see explosive runs out of him. Russell is moving better than he did last year, but he's not Russell like he was in Seattle. I just don't think you can dink and dunk this offense.
No, I think that
or this defense.
Jaleel McLaughlin, their backup running back, is kind of that Keaton Mitchell, Jalen Warren type of player that could pose a problem for us if they decide to, deploy him, which maybe they won't. Tomlin, for some reason, like you said, didn't use Warren very much. And the big way that they're scoring a lot of their points is through Cortland Sutton. They're big, physical, go up and get it outside receiver. And Martin Emerson just eats those guys for lunch. So,
And it's tough. I know they've beaten some good teams. They beat the Chiefs. They beat the Bills. The Vikings were playing well. I just don't know what to make of the Vikings, though. They started terrible, and then they started to put some wins together, and then now they got Dawgs, and it's just like, I don't know how good they really are. The Chiefs, obviously the Chiefs are the Chiefs, and they're great, but their offense is the least scary it's been in years. And the Bills, when they were literally in shambles, and the Broncos lose that game if they don't have 12 men on the field at the end.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think every game from here on out is going to be a dogfight. I think every game we're going to need blood pressure medication. I don't know. There's not going to be any pretty wins from here on out, I don't think. I just don't think we're set up to win that way now.
No, but I don't mind winning ugly if we win. And we got that grit.
Yeah.
We're the team to do it.
I said yesterday, there's gonna be a different host sitting in this chair next season because I just don't think I'm gonna make it.
Baltimore Ravens will be the numbers 1 seed in 2 weeks. Only 2 contenders in the AFC: the Ravens and the Chiefs. We literally just beat you.
Is that Aaron?
Yes.
Quit giving him screen time.
We literally just beat you. You got to love his optimism, though.
I do. I respect it.
Yeah, but I look for the Browns. I think this defense, you can't duplicate it or replicate it in practice.
Right.
There's not another Myles Garrett out there to go up against your left tackle in practice. You know what I mean? There's not another Martin Emerson. Denzel Ward's playing off his freaking mind.
Oh, Denzel, man.
What about that hit he put on Najee?
He lost his own.
Yeah. Oh my God. The defense plays with so much swag and energy. It's good. The biggest thing going against us in this game is the altitude and the fact that we just don't have great history playing there.
Right.
But I think this Browns team showing like that doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't, man. We're a new team.
Mm-hmm. And I've heard some people talk about this. You're seeing the culture shift. We're winning. These are games that in years past we never win. In my whole life, we never win. And this year, instead of finding ways to lose, we're finding ways to win. And like the Jets game last year, this team would never lose that game.
No
chance.
Would never lose that game. Okay. And it's because of we have some continuity. We've had our same GM for 4 years now. We have the same coach for 4 years now. We've drafted some players and we've put them on second contracts finally. Mm-hmm. We are growing young talent and we're coaching them up and we're keeping them in the building and we're allowing them to grow in the organization, and there's buy-in and there's belief. And then when another rookie comes in, now a guy like Taki is here to help them grow. Like we're finally not a bum-ass culture.
And I hate to tell you, all the Deshaun Watson haters out there, which if you are, you're probably not watching this show. He's a big reason why we got a lot of the free agents we got.
Yeah.
People want to come here and play with this team with him as the quarterback. You know what I mean? Like you said, with the coaching staff. The continuity is huge in this culture.
And it's why you don't just fire a coach.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's why you don't just fire a GM because he misses on a pick and you don't fire Stefanski because you didn't like his game plan one game. Like this is what happens when you stick with, especially when you got smart guys in the building and you understand that it's a marathon, not a sprint of a season. And you keep your guys, you get them on second contracts, you're good to your guys, you become a good place to work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You get a good reputation around the league. And then other teams want to do business with you. And then you can get a guy like Amari for a fifth.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? Like it's just we're building a culture. He's doing something that is sustainable, and we're going to be able to stack seasons on top of each other. It's an exciting time to be a Browns fan. Like,
yeah.
It's just not, people aren't just coming here to collect a paycheck anymore.
I know. And the people that think that Jim Schwartz is just going to, book it out of town to go take a head coaching job next year. You said earlier, and I loved your comment about it's a match made in heaven between him and Myles. Do you think Jim Schwartz really wants to go somewhere else and try to be a head coach? This is what he is made for. This is what he loves to do. You see him on the sideline with those dark sunglasses just walking around. He just looks like a bad MFer out there. Like he's just every plays. How can I just mess you up this play?
And he's loving it.
He's loving it.
I don't think he wants to be, like you said, he has, I think, 0% desire to go be a head coach.
Yeah.
And I think working with Kevin Stefanski helps make that possible as well, because that locker, I mean, Kevin is such a good coach, man. He's got these guys so bought in.
There's the buy-in to the people who say, who give him zero credit and they give it all to Schwartz. Well, who hired Jim Schwartz?
Yeah.
And Jim Schwartz wouldn't have come to work for Kevin if he didn't think Kevin was a good guy to work for.
Yeah, it's not like we just say, Jim Schwartz, you're our D-court. Like, he had to accept it.
Yes.
Yeah, and to kind of parrot what Blake said like almost an hour ago, if you're going to give Schwartz the credit, you kind of got to give Stefanski the credit for managing the game in a way that lets us put we give the ball back to the defense, we punt, they have bad field position, and then our defense is set up for success. Stefanski's doing that. He trusts the defense, and he's putting the game in the hands of the defense too. So,
no, it's It's a good time to be a Browns fan.
I will say this before we wrap it up. I just want to shout out two people. Nick Chubb made an appearance at the stadium yesterday.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was
How
cool.
about Jim Donovan smashing the guitar?
Yeah.
We love Jim Donovan. I was texting Justin about it earlier today. I was like, he's as much of a Brown as anyone on the roster.
Yeah.
I love that he got a game ball.
And
Yeah, that's cool.
He
That
got
was
a
awesome.
game ball, and if you haven't yet, just listen to his calls for the Browns Steelers game because it was awesome.
It was the stadium yesterday. We owe Justin. He went so hard yesterday. He's out of commission today.
We didn't even mention Justin's not here tonight.
Yeah, Justin is a little under the weather because he went up and gave it 150% yesterday. That stadium was insane, and I was thinking about this today. If the Browns can get to say 12 wins, okay, which is obviously it's going to be tough. We're fighting an uphill battle with injuries on offense, but if we can get to 12 wins, which based on this schedule is not out of the realm of possibility, considering we've played 8 teams 500 or better, and we have 7 wins right now. And we only play, I think, 1 or 2 more teams that are at 500 or better now the rest of the year. And one of them's the Bengals, who just lost their quarterback.
Yeah.
So you do not want to be the team. Don't let Cleveland host a playoff game because I'm just telling you, don't want to be the team that comes into Cleveland to play at the first playoff game in Cleveland in literally my lifetime.
Yeah.
You don't want to be that team. I am telling you, it will be unlike anything you've ever seen.
It will probably go down as the craziest atmosphere in NFL history.
I'm telling you, I was at the game that Baker came in against the Jets, and I thought I'd never be a part of anything like that again.
And that was like a week 3 game.
Yes, on a Thursday night.
Yeah.
Okay, I was at the game. I was at the Bengals game this year, and the crowd wasn't. This will be unlike anything ever seen in the Cleveland Browns stadium in the last 3 decades if we host a playoff game. You don't want to be that team. I don't see us getting to 12 wins. We got 7 right now. I think you can beat the Broncos. I think you can beat the Bears, the Jets, the Bengals. So then you got to steal one against the Rams, the Texans, or the Jags. I think that's doable. Again, I don't think it's easy, and I'm not predicting us to do it, but I think it's doable if we don't turn the ball over and we keep playing good defense.
Absolutely.
Rams are beat up. Bengals and Jets are beat up. Bears are the Bears. I mean, I know Justin Fields is back, but
guy takes sacks.
Yeah, a lot of sacks. This isn't the team to hold the ball for a long time.
And that's been his biggest weakness. So I think,
So let's wrap this thing up thinking about the possibility of Cleveland hosting a playoff game, and we might feel that here at the studio. You know what I mean? We're 60 miles away from the stadium. We might feel it.
No, I think I'm going to be there.
Yeah.
But the thing is, Kevin's got the right mentality with the team is just go 1-0 every week. And, you got all these idiots online saying, oh, well, the Browns, that was their Super Bowl. Big Ben says, oh, well, beating the Steelers, that's the Browns Super Bowl.
Ben, what a pussy.
And that's 7 Super Bowls we've won this year now.
Yeah.
So we just keep winning Super Bowls. And you know what? If that was the Browns Super Bowl this week, awesome. We just won it. And you know what? Now we have a Super Bowl this week against the Broncos. Let's go win that one. F you guys. I am so sick and tired of this bullshit.
The Browns are the only team that are supposed to win every game, but then not be excited about winning the game.
Exactly.
Like the Steelers would have been talking mad shit online if they would have won yesterday.
No,
they lost.
As soon as you lose to the Browns, it's, oh, well, that was your Super Bowl. Okay, well, you know what? You guys can just take it and shove it because you lost.
Yeah, cope harder.
Yeah,
bunch of vagines. When was the last time? When was the last time the Browns beat Pittsburgh in Pittsburgh? I don't know. Fucking 2022.
Yeah.
Not even 1 year ago. I was at the game. You fat piece of crap. Like that's pot calling the kettle black. But you know what I mean? Like cry harder. Oh, that's their Super Bowl. No. Well, when the Steelers are at home because Kenny Pickett can't complete a pass, and you're that pissed me off so bad. Man. You guys got me fired up just as we were about to wrap this thing.
So one more,
I had to mention that because we've seen a lot of that today.
While we're shouting people out, let's shout out all the people that aren't idiots. That's you guys watching the show.
Yes,
we love all you so much.
Dog Pack is awesome. You guys get it. You guys know what's going on this season for the Browns, man.
Yep,
this is something else.
Well, we'll go ahead and wrap this thing up before I get too angry. Start cussing too much, and you guys quit watching it with your children. I'm sorry. Sometimes I say adult words when I get very angry or excited.
Or just talk about Steeler fans in general.
And Big Ben. But thank you guys for watching. This is one of our biggest lives yet. We appreciate you guys being here. Before we wrap it up, I still have 160 of you guys here. Please go donate to Kenny Mac's Movember campaign. There's 10 days left in Movember. We'll post the link in this video again, or if somebody has it who's already in the chat, post the link. Let's help him get to his goal. Again, if everybody who watches the video donates $1, Kenny's going to be at his goal. So please donate to his campaign. It's for a great cause. Again, thank you guys for being here, making these lives so awesome. Every live is bigger than the previous one, and we appreciate it a ton. We appreciate every single person who takes time out of their day to watch us and support the show. Again, if you want to become a Dog Pack member, join thedawgs.com. Join that Discord, hang out with us all the time.
Sunday for the Broncos game.
Yes.
Get in there.
It's crazy on game days. And it's good throughout the week.
We don't mention enough, but you can join with a 7-day free trial to kick it off, just to get in there and see what it's like, see if you like it or not. And we'll let you into the Discord for those 7 days, interact with everybody, hang out with us on Sunday for the game. And if you don't like it, fine, whatever, get out. And if you do like it, stick around, hang out. It's a good group of people.
Yep.
So
Make it to next year, play fantasy football with us. It's a good time. So we had some people ask about voicemails. I said it at the beginning, but if you missed it, join the dogspodcast.com. There's a little drop down menu in the upper right hand corner. You just hit leave voicemail. You can leave it for us. We'll play it for you on the show. We love hearing from you guys. It makes these live episodes even better. Again, we appreciate you guys being here. Enjoy the rest of your Victory Monday, and F the Steelers.